This is Campus News, reporting the top stories from colleges and universities.
Next on Campus News, the demand for electric vehicles is on the rise. See how M-State students are charging up with the new program.
With the sounds of blowing horns, high schoolers are getting a chance to learn about this genre of music from college professors.
A new hire for MSU Moorhead is a familiar face. See how the new women's basketball coach is adapting to her new role after her playing career.
Art students at MSU Moorhead got a chance to show off their skills at a Juried art exhibition. Good morning and welcome to Campus News. I'm Alex Sapp.
And I'm Grace Makestead.
Having car troubles? Consider going electric. Minnesota State Community and Technical College looks to start a new program in 2024.
Reporter Hunter Schwartz tells us how they'll help train students and faculty to repair hybrid and electric cars.
These car repair work bays at M-State and Moorhead will likely look very different in the future thanks to a new grant. Automotive tech professor Shannon Moan says you should give these new cars a chance.
Just recline back and take a nap because they'll be nice and warm. I'll be fine. In fact, I might enjoy the peace and quiet for a little while. Most people that own an electric vehicle had the opportunity to take a ride in it, and in many cases, people who were big naysayers ended up sold on the concept just on one test drive.
With the electric car market growing exponentially in the Midwest, M-State is preparing to stay one step ahead.
The growth has been exponential, and as people are driving these, we're going to need people to repair them.
Students like sophomore Ribaz Nasso are expecting them to take over the roads.
We're going to get a lot of students here. We're going to get a lot of people here that want to learn about this stuff because, like, from 10 years from now on, I don't think we're going to see any gas cars on the road.
Although the students and faculty say they're pumped for the opportunity, it'll be a difficult adjustment for everyone involved.
Electric vehicles require different tooling and different training in order to repair them. They're quite different than the internal combustion engine vehicles that we're used to.
Not only is Moan impressed with his experience of electric cars,
Even though I have a warm garage, I don't have to worry about carbon monoxide. It doesn't stink in my garage.
people at M-State are hoping that this program can provide new students with a way to train on electric and hybrid vehicles. With photographer Matthew Stewart, Hunter Schwartz, Campus News.
Currently, only 3% of technicians in the United States are trained to work on these vehicles. Recycling plastic bags is becoming more eco-friendly. That is why MSUM is teaming up with Trex Recycling this school year to teach students more. Trex Recycling started at MSUM in mid-November and is running through the end of April. Students on campus can drop off their plastic bags in big white bins scattered across campus, including Hagen Hall, McLean Hall, Center for the Arts, Campus Apartments, and the CMU. The Sustainable Students Association is one of the organizations hosting this event. SSA President Mary Sandine gives her thoughts about the program.
I feel like they're more aware that, because for example myself, I didn't even know that you could recycle plastic bags before this program. So now I know, I feel like students know it's an option, and hopefully we can promote plastic bag recycling even when this challenge is done at MSUM.
So far, MSUM has collected 100 pounds of their 500-pound goal for this school year.
The Minnesota State University system is asking for a record-breaking amount of money. Photographer Maddie Leingang and I found out why they say it could help curb rising tuition costs. Like so many other universities across the country, MSU Moorhead has an enrollment problem.
There's fewer students graduating from high school. Of those students, there's fewer that are choosing a four-year education. And of the fewer that are choosing a four-year education, more of them are choosing the flagship.
And with fewer students to pay tuition, those who do choose college shoulder higher rates. Moorhead, along with its fellow MSU schools, are hoping to tackle this issue with a record-breaking budget request.
Our legislative request is for $350 million, and of that, $125 million would be to support a tuition freeze. So we're the legislature to provide that funding to the system. The system would forego tuition increases in both of the upcoming academic years.
So, if fully funded, students can expect relief from tuition increases, at least for 2 years.
That would be great because if tuition goes up, we can't pay it because we're all broke college kids.
I think every college student would be lying if they said they didn't want that, but...
However, that $350 million is a best-case scenario. From the 2022 MSU budget, the system received less than half of its request. For 2020, just a third. Without the funding, tuition will go up.
The rate increase is being offset. It creates a budget challenge, right? Because even with a price increase, we're projecting that we're going to have less revenue.
The final vote will happen May 22nd. In the meantime, Vice President Holler recommends that students reach out to the Student Senate to voice support for the request. The state legislature is expected to have its budget propositions by mid-March. NDSU's president has announced what a $7.6 million budget cut will mean for the university. University President David Cook laid out plans to cut 34 full-time jobs in 2 of its colleges, leaving the school with just 5. The 2 schools affected will be folded into other colleges, and 24 degree programs could be phased out. Some of the faculty cuts could take several years. Other planned reductions will happen July 1st. The cuts come after a steady drop in NDSU's enrollment in the last decade. The home of the Bison is set to get a facelift. Fargo Mayor Tim Mahoney announced a proposal for the expansion of the 30-year-old Fargo Dome. The mayor calls the venue a crown jewel for the community and says it brings in as much as $42 million annually into the region. Over 3,000 events have been held at the Fargo Dome since its opening in 1992. Plans call for a convention center to be added, and more information and artist renderings will be released in the coming weeks. TickTock is becoming a major distraction for universities across the country. Reporter Hannah Vig tells us how some students say schools banning the platform have gone too far.
Zuri, I'm watching the TikToks you sent me.
TikTok has become a big part of college students' lives.
I spend a lot of time on TikTok.
But access to TikTok on school campuses is being limited. U.S. universities are wanting to ban TikTok due to the recent bill that has been passed by President Biden, banning TikTok from federal-owned devices. Universities are affected by this because they receive funding from the federal government. Kay Beckerman, assistant professor for digital media and public relations, shares her views banning TikTok and the educational use of the app itself.
It's because they feel like maybe it should be the faculty educating students. But some people are really natural at it. I do follow a couple of other professors because they make it fun. But yeah, I do think that these universities didn't quite think through everything.
MSUM has an official TikTok page that promotes different activities for the university.
And it's professional, and it's fun. So I think that MSUM, if MSUM said, oh, you can't do that because it makes us look unprofessional, I think that would be almost hypocritical.
Some students say it comes down to a personal choice.
I don't think the university really has a right to be telling the students which apps they can and can't download or use. I think it's one thing to ban it on university-owned devices like tablets and stuff like that, but I don't think use of it should necessarily be banned on campus.
But other students say we should be treated like adults.
But I understand why people would be upset. I mean, we're college students, we're out of the house, we're considered adults, so I don't feel like they should be restricting us like we're high schoolers.
Students also see the positive to the ban.
If it's becoming a distracting thing on campus that is taking away from other students' experience because somebody is doing some sort of trend that involves being in public and disrupting others.
Some students feel the government shouldn't have control over our social lives, but as of right now, there are no plans of MSUM banning the app. With photographer Laura Hovland, Hannah Vig, Campus News.
Students at MSUM feel that banning TikTok is a violation of their rights as adults and feel the government banning the app is a step too far.
University of Minnesota seniors aren't completely happy with the university's compromises on commencement this spring. Because of construction at Mariucci Arena, where the ceremony is normally held, the school originally canceled spring commencement altogether. A U of M senior created a petition to fight for graduation. 9,000 signatures were collected. The university decided to compromise, and some are still upset. The scheduled graduation day is Saturday, May 23rd, 2023. Students at MSU Moorhead came together for Human Trafficking Awareness Month. Sarah Stompro with the Rape and Abuse Crisis Center spoke with students about the red flags and dangers of trafficking and exploitation in the college community.
I think especially in today's society with so much in online involvement and meeting people on social media and online apps can be really dangerous.
The Rape and Abuse Crisis Center has many different resources for students, such as a 24-hour crisis hotline number and crisis intervention. Members of MSUM's Black Student Union are celebrating Black excellence and the importance of acceptance and involvement.
Reporter Reagan Spears shows us how the celebration is connecting the community.
While most students were home studying, the Black Student Union and MSUM Concert Choir were inside the CMU Ballroom, demonstrating and celebrating Black excellence through speakers, music, and a hair show.
We didn't really choose MSUM, MSUM chose us.
The Black Student Union welcomed guests at the Black Excellence Banquet, such as Roots Hair and Soul Salon.
We desire to bridge the gap in the hair industry between, you know, just going to a salon and what it really means to get your hair done.
Guests and performers throughout the night spoke about the importance of community, inclusiveness, and Black celebration, such as DJ One Pretty Ricky.
All the music that I'm going to play today is all Black themed, Black producers, Black artists, just all the celebration of Black.
Trinity Morgan, social media coordinator of the Black Student Union, talked to us about what Black excellence means to the BSU.
Excellence to me is being proud of where we come from, being proud of our heritage and our culture, and occupying spaces and being present with pride and humility.
Trinity also says that it is important to accept everyone, no matter their flaws, and to put our biases aside and come together as a community. With photographer T1 Mampuan, Reagan Spears, Campus News.
The event ended with an after-party and dance. College students from all around Fargo Moorhead are preparing to celebrate the 5th week of Frostoval. It's an annual event that celebrates winter with such events as ice skating, s'mores making, and even a hot dish competition. Moorhead Hockey Center will be holding an open skate all day tomorrow. Ice House Fit in Fargo is hosting a sauna experience from the 16th through 18th. MSUM's Planetarium will host Laserfest, a concert under the stars, February 17th through the 19th. Sleigh rides and other winter activities will continue through the 25th. Even while some celebrate the colder weather, students at MSU Moorhead are offering some warmth with the help of Project Linus. Students at the Comstock Memorial Union sat and tied strips of fleece together between classes. The Dragon Entertainment Group partnered up with Project Linus to create and donate tie blankets to children in need. Students were given the option of keeping the blankets or donating them.
A Concordia College music professor found a silver lining during the pandemic by challenging himself to write an opera. Campus News reporter Catherine Makowski visited Concordia to hear what he's been working on.
Like most of us, Dr. Doug Harbin felt the mental strains of COVID while being stuck at home and then turned to social media for an escape.
You know, during the pandemic, I was depressed, I think as a lot of people were, and I just decided to go on social media, and I found a lot of cathartic times just going on Reddit.
Dr. Harbin had written many pieces of music in the past, but never an opera. So when the musical director came to him for the production the following year, he felt nothing but excitement to get it done.
I actually grew up watching a lot of opera. When I was a kid, my parents used to, this dates me a bit, but they used to record operas on PBS on VHS tapes.
Students at Concordia College involved in the opera try out in the spring for the following year, with only a general idea of what the opera is going to look like. Students like sophomore Savea Hagen and senior Matthew Mortensen were ecstatic to find out that for the first time ever, a professor was going to write the opera.
Well, I think I heard that he was writing this opera before I actually auditioned, and I thought it would be really cool to have like an opera or like a role written specifically for my voice.
The 2023 Concordia Opera was split into 3 different parts with 13 different cast members. It took about 9 months to finish, including the time it took for Dr. Harbin to write the piece.
Just like reading through the text, like for number 9, which is the coming out as a crocheter scene, laughing my butt off just reading the text.
After months of preparation, Dr. Harbin's dreams of writing an opera has finally come to light. With photographer Chris Hovden, Catherine Wilkowski, Campus News.
An orchestra of 7 different instruments accompanied the opera to make a 40-minute dynamic piece for this year's performance. Today's your last chance to do some shopping for some one-of-a-kind items at the home of UND football. The Junkin Market Day Spring Market opens at 9 a.m. at the Alara Center in Grand Forks. It features all kinds of unique items, including clothing, home decor, and gourmet food from both local vendors and those from other states. Tickets to the event are $5, and you can buy them at the door. Doors are open until 4 this afternoon. Student artists at MSU Moorhead have brought their best to the annual Student Juried Art exhibition.
From sculptures made of straws to comic book pages, it's an all-encompassing display of everything the school's art department has to offer. Reporter Tyler Frame takes us to the gallery.
It's hard to miss this larger-than-life sculpture on display at MSU Moorhead. Hung proudly on the wall of the Roland Dill Center for the Arts Gallery, its glittery finish and striking warm hues earned it a very fitting name.
I'm most excited about a piece called Kablam because I incorporated glitter and I love glitter.
Kablam is just one of 3 sculptures Kathy submitted to the student juried art exhibition.
So most of these were just like, how big can I make it? How can I make a design that's like compelling? And it's not so much about content, more is just about like a fun, poppy, like something that you can engage with as the viewer and just understand as like an abstract piece.
Other works in the exhibit included poetry, paintings, and prints. This yearly event offers student artists the chance to display their work in a gallery setting and maybe take home a prize for it too.
Last year I received the President's Award, and after that I felt like I got like this confidence. Even if you don't receive an award, just seeing the happiness and the freedom of expression is just so lovely.
While the potential for a prize isn't the biggest draw for students, hearing your name after Best in Show,
Catherine Fries for Synthetic Bloom,
probably feels pretty good.
Juried exhibitions are so important because it's our only in-school opportunity as students to show our work and engage with the community like in a school-sponsored way.
So lovely, and it's just so touching to see people come together.
With photographer Gracie Jackson, Tyler Frame, Campus News.
The event is running at the Center for the Arts through March 2nd.
And now we turn it over to Jordan for a look at this week's sports.
And Jordan, we hear that one Dragon is helping the team win in more ways than one.
Yeah, there's a familiar face around the locker room. A former MSUM basketball player is back with the team, this time as a coach. Reporter Thomas DeSeth tells us how the game is changing in her new role.
For any level of sport, players becoming coaches is a norm. MSUM women's basketball is no exception. The Dragons have found a former player to add to the already brilliant coaching staff, in the form of assistant coach Sarah Jacobson.
Okay, and then Al, you're gonna roll. Played for Coach Nelson and Swen for 2 years, and I was at NDSU for 3. Shot, box, contact, Al.
You know, it's nice that I got Sarah to come in and assist this year. She's doing a great job, and just brought a completely different energy to the program. And
Jacobson is in her first year as an assistant coach, but she is already discovering the many layers that make up being a coach.
Honestly, I would say the biggest thing is there's more behind the scenes than you realize, like with coaching as a player. Like the player, you just get to show up, you put in your extra work, go to practice, and then you get to go home, where there's a lot more like planning and like little nuances with coaching.
The transition from player to coach has been smooth overall, but every road does have its bumps.
I think as a coach, you always can improve. It doesn't matter if you've been a part of a program for 29 years or 1 year. You know, it doesn't matter.
Good, and you can set on balls, Al. Good take, Sarah.
Jacobson has brought a player's experience and intuition to the team, and the Dragons are all the better for it. With photographer Tiffany Ackerman, Thomas DeSeth, Campus News.
Jacobson is staying in the area for the foreseeable future, and she does not plan to give up on coaching. An NDSU football player is projected to go in the first round of the NFL draft after his performance at the Senior Bowl. Offensive lineman Cody Mock spent a majority of his time with NDSU at the left tackle. During the Senior Bowl, he showed he could be versatile, taking snaps at other positions. For his work, Mock earned the title of Offensive Lineman Practice Player of the Week for the national team. Before his performance, Mock was projected to go in the second round. The NFL draft will take place in April. Bison Athletics isn't immune to NDSU's budget cuts. NDSU President David Cook says as a part of the $7.6 million in cuts, more than $200,000 would be cut from the athletic department budget. That's a 4.2% decrease of the school's contribution, but it's a small part of the athletic budget, which is about $25 million. 73% of NDSU's athletic budget is self-generated. As MSUM alum still loves to talk about his beloved Dragons, but now he's doing it behind a new microphone. Reporter Nick Tabbitt caught up with the sports fan in his new studio.
Welcome back to one final segment of Primetime Sports Big Game.
If you tune in to 1100 AM The Flag, you might be listening to someone who goes by the name Big Game James McCarty.
Come back, Stone Labanowitz.
James McCarty is the sports director at The Flag, a sister station of WDAY Radio. He first went to MSUM to support a friend playing football for the Dragons. After a while, he wanted to see what else the university had to offer.
I started touring the school, and I realized that they had a broadcast journalism program.
McCarty enrolled into MSUM in the fall of 2016. He had a passion to work in sports. However, the first semester was like baptism by fire.
And somehow, some way, I convinced the communications department that I was 100% in on it. And so they were giving me opportunities in classes for second, third, and fourth year students.
McCarty met one of his mentors, Dana Mock, in a TV news writing class. Mock says McCarty was eager to improve his craft.
James was involved, he was vocal, you could tell he was into it and wanted to get better.
McCarty started working for Flagg Family Media in his junior year. When the sports director left during his senior year, he volunteered to help with the job's daily tasks around school. After a few months of picking up the slack, he seized a big opportunity.
I applied for the sports director job, I got the offer, I accepted it, and so I've actually been here about 9 months longer than I graduated even.
At the age of 24, he hosts the PrimeTime radio show, talking about sports from high school to the professional level. He says he's grateful for the guidance he received.
The trust the professors had in me to make an impact and to be able to keep learning and to keep growing ultimately helped land me in the position that I am today.
McCarty says after graduating from a great college experience, he doesn't see himself leaving the Fargo Moorhead area anytime soon. With photographer Josh Boyko, Nick Tabbitt, Campus News.
You have no idea. Oh man, have a great one, man. Appreciate it.
You can listen to James's primetime radio show on 1100 AM The Flag during weeknights from 6:30 to 8 o'clock. It was a day of celebration for MSUM wrestling at a recent match. They honored the 1998 team that won the conference championship. It came in the middle of a 6-year dynasty for MSUM between 1996 and 2001. The team was honored at intermission against Minnesota State Mankato, celebrating the championship. The trophy even made an appearance. Members say they still have a strong relationship 25 years later. Nice to see them still working together.
Yeah, great to see alumni still involved at the school.
Thanks, Jordan. They came from all over the region to learn from the best. Local high school students participated in NDSU's Jazz Festival to play and listen to this timeless music live.
Photographer Maddie Leingang and I went to find out about the importance of education in this American art form. While it may seem like North Dakota is dominated by country music, here at NDSU, a different genre is thriving.
Jazz is America's art form in music. It was developed all in America, American-made, and it's just part of our rich American heritage. So jazz is very important in America.
That importance is the reason why NDSU started its annual Jazz Festival, now in its 40th year. Put on by the Challey School of Music, the event gives local high school students the chance to perform and to learn from the professionals. Race Hoagland, a local music teacher, says the event is an awesome opportunity for his students.
Are you guys enjoying it so far? Yeah, they're enjoying it. You know, when you're playing in front of just your peers and in the school a lot, it's cool, but it's not as cool as going out and performing. It makes me feel good in that, like, jazz is alive in the FM area.
And while it's a great opportunity for the high schoolers, the university says it's also a great opportunity for recruitment.
We're trying to recruit students to get to visit our beautiful facility, and I'd like to think some of them would say, hey, I want to play in that band. I want to go to NDSU.
Whenever students come by to check it out, they're really peddling scholarship opportunities and auditions and stuff like that. So it's really fun to see a lot of the students have interest in that.
And it's that continued interest that's keeping jazz alive in North Dakota. NDSU's Jazz Ensemble performs in the Fargo Moorhead area throughout the spring. And that's it for this edition of Campus News.
We leave you with more sights and sounds from the Jazz Festival.
Thanks for joining us and have a great week.
Yeah, ready? 1, 2,
Campus News is produced by the Television News Workshop in the School of Communication and Journalism at Minnesota State University Moorhead, in cooperation with Prairie Public Television.
Sure, yeah. Let's go with that. Yeah, man, sounds good.